It's weekdays on the Coast Best Mix, 7AD, 7BU. Rod Stewart in there. The first cut is the deepest, as we say hello to Craig Heppel with a peek inside. How are you?
Well, good morning, Andrew. I'm very well, actually.
You are?
I am.
Holidays?
What? What?
Can I have
Agents don't take holidays. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's talk about the conversation then.
The conversation. Yes.
Spill it.
And I'm going to spill the beans on this one.
Okay, let's go.
Now, we know that real estate agents can get a bum rap. Okay? So the minute something doesn't feel right or becomes a challenge during a sale, the person who usually has the finger pointed at them is the agent.
Agent, yep.
So we are the lowest hanging fruit, easy to access and pick.
So let's blame someone. We'll blame the real estate agent.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't want you to get out the mini violin just yet.
No.
So the other players involved, the lending institutions, lawyers, valuers, building inspectors, the buyers and sellers themselves are almost absolved of errors of judgment or poor decisions.
Right.
So that's okay, and that's why we're paid the big bucks, to cop the slings and arrows. So are you feeling sorry for me yet?
No.
Thank you.
No.
So, once again, it all comes back to human emotion, dealing with the biggest transaction of someone's life. It's understandable, yet most of the time it's avoidable. And one of the reasons these emotions can bubble up to the surface, doubt and ill feeling can quickly manifest, especially between agents and home sellers, is that some, if not many agents, are not willing to have what I call
The conversation.
the conversation. Now, recently I met a young lady. She was a young girl married with a baby, and she'd come to an open home. And the home in question was priced in the sweet spot, where many buyers were looking to purchase. And this first open home drew about 10 or 11 buyers. And the girl told me that she was keen, but she still had her current home on the market, which she needed to sell to proceed. So I informed her that it was likely to be a cash or a short finance buyer that would land on this property, and her being subject to selling her property, you know we've talked about that before. Would put her at the back of the queue, so to speak. She understood that, and the property did go to contract the following Monday to a young fellow who had his finance ready to go. So last week, this same young lady called me about another property I'd just listed. And first thing I asked was, had she secured a contract on her current home? And, okay, the ex-detective in me kicked into action, and I began to ask her some questions that might help her, as she seemed very keen to find and secure that next property, but she was being held back by her current situation. So we'll call her Julie to protect the innocent.
Yep.
Okay? Yep. So, Julie, how long's your property been on the market and who with? Oh, we've been on the market since late November with Mr. Agent. I won't name names. And I said, okay, well, what price is it on for? And she said, offers over $600,000. I said, okay, so how many groups have inspected the home in that time period? And she said, 4 or 5, I think. I said, what? 4 or 5 groups in 5 months?
That's about one a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So and she replied, well, our agent said we should take it off the market for a week and bring it back to make it look fresh. Now, believe it or not, I was speechless for about 5 seconds.
All right. That's very unusual.
So I thought to myself, take it off for a week and bring it back? That strategy alone is worth an entire show with you, Andrew, to demonstrate how useless it is. So it was quite clear to me that Mr. Agent, over the course of the last 5 months, had avoided having the conversation with Julie and her husband. And that conversation is, what's the reaction of the market to their home? What has been the feedback on price from those who have viewed it? And what is the strategy to attract more buyers and encourage offers? That's the conversation. It's a plan. So
it's a big investment. You need to find what you're buying into, what you're selling, and what the agent's doing for you.
That's it. But the agent is the conduit between you and the buyers.
Yep.
Right. So then Julie said the magic words that will derail any sale. But we're not in a hurry to sell.
While you're going to open homes, and thinking about it when they're not in a hurry in the first place.
That's right. Anyone that says to me, you're not in a hurry to sell, I want you to stay tuned. Mm-hmm. But I said to her, you're right, you're keen to sell now. And she said, well, yes, I am. So here's the rule of thumb, Julie. If you are not in a hurry to sell, the market is not in a hurry to buy. Mm-hmm. Silence. She went very quiet. And then she said, oh, yeah, now I get it. So I said, if you keep going along this same path, you'll keep missing out on suitable homes in your price range and frustration will take its toll. If your agent won't have the conversation with you, you need to have it with him. And she actually thanked me and she said, I'm going to get onto that. So to put it bluntly, if you have an agent who is not willing to have the conversation with you, if the initial plan needs to be retweaked, find another agent who will. You'll avoid a lot of frustration and a lot of angst.
Well, you would think, Craig, that if nothing's going ahead with your sale, you'd move on to someone else.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. Mm. So how would you like a quote of the week?
Oh, come on, love your quotes.
It's a very simple one. Speak less, listen more, watch closely.
And I wouldn't have a job.
So if you want to know more about any famous quotes or anything to do with real estate, email me, craig@alstonrealestate.com, or give me a call 0400 180 515.
I tell you what, it's been a great conversation.
Thanks, mate.
Talk to you next Thursday.
You will.
That is Craig Heppel from the Alston Real Estate at Peking Side. We do it every Thursday around 11:20. On weekdays, we've got some Bon Jovi and the Monkees.